Hey guys, it's Dan here with TreeBeard Book Reviews, and we're doing an interesting video today. It's been a while since I've done a book tag, so let's do the name game book tag. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so the name game book tag. So I was tagged in this by Jonathan over at Words in Time like ages ago. I just haven't got to it because I've just had so many other videos I wanted to make, and I keep getting tagged in a lot of book tag videos. So this one I'm, if you haven't seen Jonathan's, go and watch it. It's really good. So basically what this book tag is you spell out your name and then you pick a book you've read that corresponds with the first letter of your name, or that first letter in your name. So my name is Dan. Obviously Dan's a little short, so we're gonna go, my full name is Daniel, so we're just gonna extend it down to Daniel. So it's 6 letters. And what I've done for this list, I'm actually doing a little bit, changing it up a little bit. I'm gonna pick 6 books first that are all fantasy, all books that I've read, all by different authors. So the first list will be that. These are books that are going to display on the list. And then my next set are going to be books I want to read. And those could be either a mix of sci-fi or fantasy that start with the letter corresponding. So I hope you guys are excited. Let's get into it. All right, so D. So my choice of book for D is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. It's the first book in the Dragon Riders of Pern series from her. Love this book. If you're interested in dragon fantasy, here you go, guys. So my first choice is D. For D is Dragonflight by Anne McCaffrey. Alright guys, so rolling along with the letter A. The book I chose is by one of my favorite authors, is The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. So I really love Mistborn Era 2. I prefer Mistborn Era 2 over Era 1. A little less gloom and doom, a bit more, lighthearted, kind of flintlock fantasy, like a buddy cop. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed Era 2. So yeah, for the letter A, Alloy of Law. All right, moving on. For the letter N, I chose a Wheel of Time book, which is New Spring by Robert Jordan. So obviously this is not the original cover. This is my Juniper Books cover. So you see like the little symbol of the Aes Sedai there. Yeah, New Spring. It's the prequel to the Wheel of Time series. Recommend you read that after book 7 if you're gonna read it. If you are reading Wheel of Time, if you're a Wheel of Time fan, really love New Spring. Follows characters I love. Moraine and Lan. Such a great entry into the series, and it fits on this list 100% because I love New Spring. It's such a good book. So, all right, let's keep rolling along here, guys. So I, letter I. This is a hard one. Like, I was actually a hard book to pick, and I was like, oh, what can I pick? And I actually picked a book I don't love, but I've read it, and so I picked Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. It's got a cool cover. And that's about it. Like, this book, I waited years for this book to come out. Because I love the Aragon series. Like, I have tattoos from it, and it was still my favorite childhood series. I do enjoy it, but the last book was a real disappointment with Inheritance. That's why I'm actually kind of been reluctant to read Christopher Paolini's new book, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, just because Inheritance really wasn't good. Did not impress me. It just felt like a different writer. And this isn't meant to be a rant about. This is just like a silly book tag. But I might as well tell you about what I felt for the letter I. So Inheritance. So let's move on to E. Okay, guys. So E. This is a hard one actually because I put the restrictions on myself that I can't pick more than the same author twice. And there's a lot of books I could have picked, like Elantris, Edge Dancer, and so I went with Exile by R.A. Salvatore. It's the second book in the Dark Elf trilogy. I really liked it. I think it's probably my favorite of the 3, just because what happens to Dritz, a lot more character development for him, a lot more trials and tribulations and struggles, a lot more growth. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed Exile. I think it's a great book. Highly recommend it. So yeah, that is the letter E, Exile. So As we've gone down now, we've seen D-A-N-I-E, and now L. So L, again, it's probably going to be very obvious what it is. And I consider this one book. I don't break it up into the three, and that is The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien. I love this copy. I love the artwork on it. It's got Gandalf on the back. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is one of those books that is just a fantasy classic. Or it is the fantasy classic. I've read it 18 times now, I think, at least. Read it a lot. I try and read it every year, whether that's physical read or if it's like an audiobook read. Love it every time. It's just like, you know, being reunited with the gang. Or I can read it so fast now because I have a lot of it, like, not memorized, but I just know, and it hits those beats every time. So yeah, really love The Lord of the Rings. So that is L. So that's the, you know, the books, you know, I've highlighted that, as you can see, I'll probably have like something displayed here for my name, for Daniel. So now I kind of want to break it down into, you know, 6 books that, you know, I really want to read and that correspond with the letter of my name. So let's get into those. All right, so getting onto this list of books I want to read with my name. So I was a little less strict on myself here. I actually added sci-fi books in, but still different authors. So for the letter D, book I really want to read is The Demon in White by Christopher Rocchio. I do plan to read this either in February or March, but I really want to read it. I've heard so many good things. A lot of booktubers I watch just rave about it. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to because, you know, I've read Empire of Silence now. I will be reading Howling Dark in February when this video is going to be coming out. So just continuing with the Sun Eater series is great. I'm super excited to get into that. It looks so cool. The artwork, just like, look at this artwork. Absolutely stunning. Like, whatever Rocchio's, like, whoever his artist is freaking nailing it. And, you know, he's such a prolific writer, like Christopher Rocchio. Like, Kingdoms of Death comes out in March. Book 5 comes out in the end of the year. It's like, man, this guy's just knocking it out of the park. So I really want to get caught up on Sun Eater. So, moving on, A is another sci-fi book, and I chose Abaddon's Gate. So, as you guys know, I read Caliban's War in December 2021. Absolutely loved it. There's a review on the channel. So just moving on with The Expanse. Everyone says this is a really good book, like a really solid book. And I've just been thoroughly enjoying my foray into The Expanse. So, yeah, looking forward to that big time. So, N. I'm hoping this is no surprise to any of you guys. This this book is featured in a few of my videos now, and it's a Discworld book, and it should be no surprise that it is Night Watch. I really want to read this, and I keep saying I really want to read it, and I don't get around to reading it. I'm hopefully going to be reading it soon. That's all I'm going to say. Hopefully soon. Probably April, which might be nice because it's like April's my birthday month, so I'm going to be like a little treat to myself. Read this in the month of April. You know, I've just read The Thief of Time, and I know a lot of the events that happen in Thief of Time really kind of correspond with what's going on in this book. So, yeah, no, really, I love Pratchett. I'm always going to have a Pratchett, and I didn't have a Pratchett on the other list, so I'm like, I gotta have one on this list or on the first section. So. Let's get on to the letter I. Okay, so the letter I, it's actually a new book coming out. It's by Brian McClellan. I believe it's a new series, and it's called In the Shadow of Lightning. I can't remember when it comes out, but this just the premise of this book sounds really cool. I'm not gonna I'll leave it for you guys to look into it. I'll put a link in to it on Amazon to pre-order. Brian McClellan's a really good author. My wife has read, I think most of the first, I can't remember what it's called now. The Powder Mage. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Powder Mage. So my wife's read that series, and she said it's excellent. She's like, you have to read this. And since this is a new series that's coming out, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll try this first and then go back into Powder Mage. So that is my I pick, In the Shadow of Lightning. Okay, so E, the letter E. I chose a Stephen King, and that is The Eyes of the Dragon. So this is like a fantasy book by Stephen King. I think everyone heard say it's like a YA too. So I really want to read this one. I've heard a lot of good things. People have always been telling me about it. Like, if you like the fantasy side of King, try this, The Eyes of the Dragon. So it's got me intrigued. It's got a dragon in it. So yeah, I hope there's a dragon in it. Like, you know, I hate books that promise a dragon and then don't deliver a dragon. Like the one book like by Evan Winters, like Rage of Dragons. I read that a few years ago. Absolutely hated it. Complete dog crap book in my mind. I don't know. You guys can flame me in the comments, but I hate that book. It's absolute trash. So whatever. Sorry, this is supposed to be a friendly book tag, but yeah, so E, Eyes of the Dragon. I won't say any more. I don't want to get any more bad comments about, or any bad comments about the Rage of Dragons. Alright, so L. Then I chose The Last Argument of Kings by Joe Abercrombie. Just a big Abercrombie fan. I am reading this in the month of February as my audiobook listen, so, you know, I said I wanted to read it, and I'm kind of getting away with it because I haven't really read it yet. It's still listening to it on audiobook, so huzzah. This is my list, and I can do what I want. So, the book name, book tag. Who am I going to tag in it? So, I think I'm going to tag Bryce over at Shelf Centered. I'd love to see what he'd have on this list. You know, Bryce, interesting name, a lot of interesting letters in there. And then Baron over at Your Brain on Books. His channel just blowing up and growing like crazy. So this is it, guys. This is my book name, book tag video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to be coming with some more of these book tag videos. I'm actually developing my own book tag that I'm working on right now. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.